G'day, I've got something coming in a future version of the Stellar CLI. There's a new subcommand that creates a snapshot of a ledger from the public network, so from mainnet. That snapshot can be used in contract tests so that the tests are operating on production data, on production scenarios. The goal of this is to allow us to write the best test possible based on what's actually happening in production. If you'd like to give this a go, you can use any of the commands that I'm using here. What we can see here, this is the test that I'm hoping to get to pass, setting up an environment based off a snapshot, and then interacting with this contract that's already deployed within that snapshot, and that contract is a token, and then getting the balance of a wallet for that token. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install from source the version of the Stellar CLI that's got this command, or it hasn't been released yet. We need to install it from this branch. Okay, there we go. So the Stellar snapshot command accepts a few options, one of them being a ledger, so you can actually snapshot specific ledgers that are in the history archives, generate a snapshot from anything that's there, or if you leave that out, it'll just use whatever the latest ledger is that's in the archive. It's going to write out a snapshot.json file, which the test can then load. And we can also specify some filters so that the snapshot doesn't contain the entire ledger, because that'd be pretty big. It will just contain the data about the accounts, or about the contract, or about the specific WASM hash. And yeah, okay, so let's put that together. We'll generate a snapshot from pubnet. Just use the latest ledger for the moment. And contract ID. We're going to use the contract in the test. So we can see what ledger it's doing. It's downloading some buckets. It's going to download and search through about 20 buckets. Once you've downloaded a bucket, it'll be cached. It's found a few entries that relate to this contract ID. If I run this command repeatedly, it gets a lot faster on the subsequent runs because we don't have to download everything. Searching through the last bucket takes the longest because it's about 2 gigs. Bit under 2 minutes and we've got our snapshot. If we have a look at the snapshot, it's JSON. It's got things like the ledger number, what protocol version that ledger was at, a whole lot of details about the different data that's stored by this contract. How big is this? Oh yeah, it's like 160K. Let's run this test and see if it passes. Okay, it didn't pass because the balance is not what we expect it to be. I think this balance was from a previous ledger. This is what the balance is now, and it passes. There's a lot of interesting things you could do based on complex production data. The snapshot that I generated had a single contract ID in it, but it can list any number of contract IDs. I'm looking for feedback about what other filters or what else would make it really useful. It's still really early and it's still in the pull request stage, but feel free to install it from source, from the PR, and give it a go. And if you have feedback, take it to Discord, you can mention me, or take it to GitHub on the PR. Thanks.